Something else, Anthony.
And so our guest is already here.
Yeah,
Let's allow anyone from out there. I know.
yeah. Please usher our guest
Please
in.
usher our guest in, and let's try to go
Yeah, but just
into
to give you this
business.
bit of information, His Excellency President, we are departed the country on today for the UAE, the United Arab Emirates, and that of the United States of America. Let me just read a few lines from the Executive Mansion.
Okay.
The President of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency Dr. George Manuel, has left the country for international engagements in the United States of America and the United Arab Emirates. Dr. Weah left Liberia via the Rabat International Airport on Friday, March 17, 2023. As part of his engagements, the Liberian leader will meet with key United Arab Emirates, UAE, and US government officials, Liberia's development partners, and would-be investors. While he is away, the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, Honorable G. Wissa Blamo, will chair the cabinet in consultation with the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia, Chief Dr. Joe Howard Taylor, via telephone with the President. President Weah was accompanied by Ambassador D. Maxwell Kimea, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Councillor Musa Dane, Minister of Justice, Major General Dana Ziangan, Minister of National Defense, Honorable Mawin Dix, the Minister of Commerce and Industry, Honorable Lejahu Julius Rennie, Minister of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism, Honorable Samuel D. Tuor Jr., Minister of Finance and Development Planning, and Honorable Eugene Len Nangwe, Commissioner General of the Liberia Maritime Authority.
Those
so just to give you that bit of information, folks. Yes.
Okay.
The president out of the country, and he's going to the UAE and then the US.
Okay. Let's hope that the president will come back with
we pray for good news,
more watering news for Liberia.
Yes.
Every time we wake up, we pray that Liberia get better. No matter who is the president, no matter who is leading us. Our prayer is, Lord, guide our leaders, guide our president, ensure that this country grow. Because when it gets better, it is not getting better for the leader. It is getting better for every one of us.
Great. Having said that, let's welcome our guest. He's already seated. He's the Commissioner of the Township of West Point, Commissioner Roland Weir. Welcome to ABC Radio. How are you today?
Welcome. And I'm doing great. Good to be here for the first time.
Great.
After so many engagements.
We finally managed to
thank you yourself
have you on today.
Yeah, because I was just about to talk about that.
Yeah, we know you are a busy man, and I mean, thanks for taking off time your schedule, to be here today. How's West Point, Commissioner Weir?
West Point is cool and kind. Okay. West Point remains a place of the happiness.
Okay. All right. Everyone knows about West Point, Commissioner Weir. But for the sake of the audience and our viewers, just give us a brief history of West Point.
And so basically, West Point, as you are aware, is a densely populated slum community within District Number 7. And by statutory laws, West Point do have a commissioner that is subsequently nominated by the president. If confirmed by the Senate, then subsequently get appointed by the president, while at the will and pleasure of the president, but particularly for the people of West Point. West Point is a peninsula that has been in existence from the early 50s up to present. And I'm happy to be one of the youngest person to serve in that position.
Great. As we move on this conversation, Commissioner Weir, let's talk about the upcoming voter registration process. How involved is your office in terms of spreading the messages about voter registration?
Basically, as a local authority, our role is to enforce and implement government policy at local level. Okay. So we are very engaged with our various community leaders, along with the elders, the young people, the women, building the consciousness in them to see reasons to go out there and encourage people to go through the process and register. Over time, West Point, I always proven in West Point continue to remain a community of huge population.
Yeah.
But again, our people's ability to register has always been a challenge. If you go to West Point, somebody will say, we are a number of 85,000, we are a number of 86,000, but do we translate that number to vote? That has been some of our challenges over time. Many a times as we go through these elections and I will get closer to the voter registration period, people use that as a means of going to West Point, pull out a number, take them to various community, take them to various township, take them to various counties to register. Now, it is where they go, it is where they have the franchise. But again, after voting there, you come back to West Point and you sit and want to get involved in West Point activity. Because even I'm a practicing Christian, and even the Bible says where your heart is and where your treasure is and where your heart will be.
Yes.
So this time around, we are encouraging all West Pointers around the world. Development are driven by population. So if we are a community and township on numbers, it is important that we stay in West Point, register in West Point, to be able to vote in West Point to change the historical analysis.
So it has been like that over the years.
Yeah, it has
Leaving
been like that over the years. And so
going to
this
other
time
places to
around,
register.
this time around, we have tried building the consciousness of our people to see reason. Over time, as you go to voter registration, everybody go the people there. If you see what kind of thing, people will come from Grand Crew. So this time around, we are saying to our people, stay there, register here, and vote here.
So, West Point being the largest slum in Liberia, maybe let's say Monrovia, do you think with the population it has, can West Point stand as a district independently?
And so basically, I have been studying the analysis, looking at what issue we are with the official legends report.
Okay.
But I think for performance and what we have on the board, we do have the numbers in terms of numerical
What
spread.
is that number?
Now, basically, we have something around 80 plus thousand in terms of number that we do have.
And so when we look at that,
in terms of number, we do have the numbers in terms of numbers to produce a district. But again, there are some components of political arrangement that goes with district that of which we say remain a challenge in having.
and what are some
in
of
terms of the space,
okay,
in terms of the basic social services that go with district development issue in terms of representation.
you
So
have
most of the
you
time,
have a hospital there.
we do have a hospital.
Do you have high school there?
We do have a high school.
Okay.
We do have a football pitch.
Okay. What is the football pitch?
We have the West Point football pitch that was just refurbished. But
It reduced into 5-5.
No, obviously it have reduced, but not to 5-5. Now, initially the space was as such. West Point fee historically always been a tackle fee.
Yeah, but 8.
Yeah.
Goalkeeper 9.
Yeah.
Yes, but now it's
and so we play 7 and goalkeeper 8.
Okay. Anyway, that's good. But okay, you talk about lacking some basic things which continues to deny you from being a district. 85,000 from threshold could be maybe 2 districts. If you have a good land space, you have other social requirements that can make you to be a district. But I look at the political engagement in West Point. How do you see that in terms of people responding to political activities in West Point? Maybe participation in election, people being exuberant to come out, register to vote, hearing the new process about to start, particularly the biometric system. How is people looking at this? How are they receiving it? What is their knowledge about that?
And so basically, with the level of information disseminated in the community, we can freely say to you, this time around, our people will honestly turn out. I understand to be on the record that this voter registration, West Point, will put the highest in the history of voter registration within West Point.
Why?
This time around, our people have seen a need to come out to register because they now believe that only through this process of registration they will vote, and it is a vote that matters to change the code of history.
Why do you think they want to come out to register in their mass?
Now, over time, we have contacted our people, and they have seen the reason to come and vote because of a few reasons. One, we have a large generation of young people who have transitioned now as first-time voters to be a part of the process. Okay. That group of people remain between 20 to 25% of our own population willing to come for. Another thing is that it is the very first time in the history of our township that the people of West Point are practically involved. They have come to see the level of development that this president has brought to them as a township. They have come to see for the first time in the history of our country that the government is bringing the government to the people. Mm-hmm. I can say to you quite recently, even yesterday, we had the very first press briefing of the Ministry of Information. In that press briefing, we had cross sections of government officials there. We had a NAFA boss there. In that press briefing yesterday, the fisherman was able to question on some of the issues the fishing sector faced with, and she was able to address some of those challenges they had in terms of the issue of the high prices in the field, in the fees rather. She suggested that there was a need that a committee be set up to discuss that. We think it's a great step. It is a step because this time around you are bringing the ordinary people face to face with the policy maker, who are those responsible in terms of the various sector. More to that, as you are aware, West Point have the head office of LEC, and power has always been a problem for us. So yesterday in our press briefing, LEC was there for the first time again. They interacted with the community, and people was able to ask them some of the hard questions. They responded to some of them. What are the challenges in the power sector? Why are we hosting you and we can't get power regularly? What are some of the things we need to do to be a part of your process legally? So all of these things was addressed. So we think it is about time that the government have taken one step, and that is a very bold initiative by bringing senior government officials to the people for more interactions.
Honorable Commissioner, I'm still concerned about this issue with NAFA and the local fishermen in the township of West Point. I can recall a few months back, there was some stand-up on the beach where the guys were protesting the increase in their fees yearly or monthly. How is it now?
So basically, we had one or two engagement, and when those issues came about as local authority, we immediately moved in, and we came up to a logical conclusion with NAFA, of which they did accept. As we speak to you, they have 3-month grace period to ensure that you go to fishing and you meet forward with your obligation in terms of registration. Now, the fishing sector is a sector that should be providing revenue for government, because the sea is a natural resources given to us by God for the development of the state. So all my life as a young man, I've lived on Cool Beach, and I know what it entails to pay a cool kino. And so NAFA have come to say, for a whole year, even though I'm not a spokesperson on NAFA, but pay $50 United or equivalent as a registration for fishing of that year. I think it is a good one. And as part of their effort, it helps to subsidize fishermen by giving life jackets, by also providing little nets, hook, and all that stuff. So we think, ensure that the safety. So we think it is a very good step. You know, this issue is something we are not unique to as a people over time, but people have seen the reason, and we have adjusted to that, and we are moving on.
We'll come to sanitation, but let's talk about security in the township of West Point. How is it like in terms of security? I know, like you mentioned earlier on, the township is flooded with too many young people who are involved with all kinds of habits, taking in substances. How is security in the township of West Point?
And so the issue of security continues to remain a serious challenge for us as a state. And so West Point is no exception. The fact that we cannot have security personnel everywhere and every given time continue to remain the challenge. But as local authority, what we have done over time, we have been able to work with our partners. And through that, we established a community watch team. That community watch team is solely responsible for the protection of the community. So we work closely with the police, and we vetted some 52 young persons and elderly guys who have come out with good character. Because, mind you, in recruiting watch team members, you have to be careful that you don't mix them up with the same guys you intend to chase. So we went through the community recruitment process, and we recruited them. Police scheme, we vetted them, and we were able to talk to some of our partners. As we speak to you, they have started in normal routines of community watch activities in the township at night. But for now, we are only limited to West Point and the district. So our people protecting West Point. And we must say it clearly, there has been some friends of goodwill. I think you listened the other day, one of the aspiring Dan came to the rescue of our watch team member by giving them some flashlight along with some communication. Now, as we speak to you, we have a communication within the 7 zones within the township. So when there are issues in 401, the 401 watch team member will immediately respond. If there are difficulties, you can connect the nearby community 402 to help them respond, while those involved are taken to the police station for due process. We understand that there are time, but there are a series of challenges. Take, for instance, once the member goes out, you somebody who you suspect to be a criminal, who will be criminal, and then that person is there, taken to the police, and they are also processing. The police will say, the fact that you know they made a criminal, you didn't catch the man in the act, so the man can be charged. And somebody will say, at the end of the day, the man comes back, you take the man to the court. There are some legal processes in terms of justice. You also have the right to a bond and so forth. But despite all of these challenges, we are working with our people to ensure that the protection of West Point remains a paramount good.
The last time I visited West Point, I came across several ghettos, and I saw young people stockpile in ghettos across West Point. What is your office doing, and that of the office of the lawmaker, at least to curtail the issue of ghettos? I mean, reduce the high increase, the proliferation of ghettos in the township of West Point.
And so, the issue of drugs have always been a major concern for this republic. And so as a township, our role is to ensure that we minimize. And so we working closely with the DEA. I'm the commissioner who do not sit and both are working alone. I will work with those relevant agencies responsible to ensure that we provide the basic protection for our people. And then we move in and do our regular rain. But again, it's also a challenge, my brother. Our society have come to a place where if you were to go to West Point today and say you're going to go over ghetto, it's obvious you locate one. But as soon as those authorities are responsible to move in, before we can reach to the first one, before we get to the second one, everybody center, they join the water. And so I've always told the DEA there's a need to strengthen your manpower.
How do they get alert?
That's why you hear the first one, somebody will tell the second man. Before you meet the second man, you only see empty place there. Even those who are victims will be the one running with the news. But again, we have tried to see our best. We can extend our network in terms of capturing the area and deploying them. So we'll take the area, we'll identify days and get to break it down. We will maintain law and order there for the considerable period of time that we are doing.
Great. He's Commissioner Roland Weir. He's our guest on the first segment of Hard Talk on ABC Radio 105.1. We're talking exclusive issues confronting the people of West Point. As we know, West Point is a densely populated area. And so the commissioner is here. We're talking all about West Point today. Let's talk about sanitation, Commissioner Weir. I know it's a challenge as well, but how are you managing assistance?
And so before I move forward to sanitation, one of the things that continues to remain a priority for the people of West Point is the issue of this coastal defense. Over time, West Point continue to remain eroded by sea, continue to suffer high-level sea rise, flooding through the river. And so most of our people, as we go closer to the rainy season, it will please you to know that, again, there might likely be an additional public outcry. But we have been trying, basically, I must use this occasion to extend my thanks to the president again. Through his wisdom, the GCF have made available some good amount of money in the tune of $17 million. The Liberia government should be contributing some $6.5 million, both in cash and in kind. I'm told that the cash now has been deposited in the basket of the partners. And day before yesterday, we witnessed the arrival of the first expert, the Senegalese expert who came to do full assessment of the entire sea. So we're hoping by the grace of God that this year, with all commitment and all hands on deck, the people of West Point will begin to see the coastal defense project coming to realization. Over time, we have spoken, people have cried, people have concerned, and people have made some louder noise on this stuff, but I think we are somewhere now. So firstly, if West Point is protected, then we can say to you, I too will have a legitimacy of being a commissioner. If there's no West Point, there's no West I will preside. So we are focused on protecting West Point. And the question raised about sanitation.
Before you go to sanitation, Commissioner, I'm concerned over the time there was this news about the relocation of some residents of West Point were taken from West Point to Hotel Africa because of the same sea erosion. Am I correct?
Yeah.
That was on presidential leave time.
Yes, and we've been informed that there were too many complaints of not giving some fair treatment. What do you know about that?
And so basically, I used to work in the office of the representative. I'm honestly told that The first family head of 105 family head were relocated from West Point to VOA.
Okay.
Among them, 53 moved into the zinc shacks, and there was another one pending after the full construction of the unit.
Okay.
The government by then started the construction of 108 units. But again, it became an issue of concern. After the transition, those that went to VOA came back to West Point. At times, it is good that in preparing policy for the people, you set with them and identify what the priorities are. You don't say there are no sometimes, even when we come to radio, people say, oh, they see eating your whatever you're doing there, you can't move on there. No, again, we are human. We also have lives that who attach to us. So if all of these aspects are not looked at, and relocation is done, after the rainy season, when the sea go down, the people come back again and resettle in one migration. And so most of the people that went to VOA came back to West Point at the end of the day.
Go ahead with sanitation. You were just in flat before.
Yeah.
So before you go to sanitation, Honorable Commissioner, there was this metropolitan project launch to ensure that West Point is protected. I think somewhere around last year, funding from I'm sure UNDP through the EPA. Where are we with that project?
So it is against that backdrop that I just provided you information that will speak to you. We are on full swing. Even within that project, we are expected to upgrade the public school in West Point. That's the NV Massacre up to senior high level. Even within that project, we'll also have a resource center in that building to build the capacity of our people when it comes to so many other issues. One of the components of that project forbid the usage of mangrove for drying of fish. So over time, people have always come say, you stop dating, we'll provide alternative. But this government is cognizant that despite the fact that you stop in the boat for cutting the mangrove, we need to dry our fish. So the partner have come in with this electrical stove and this solar dryer that will help instead of us drying the fish for 4 hours. They can have it dry in an hour time, no matter the size. It also provides in that project for eco storage. Over time in West Point, when there's a huge cash, people do not have anywhere to store the fish. So except for those ones you dry, when you dry your foot, those ones you carry to the lake freezer, when you foot, nowhere to keep the fish. That's sometimes people can dig hole and put it there. At the end of the day, some people can go back to sea, chuck the fish, and pollute the water. So this project will create a large cold storage facility where if you have a bigger cache and the market have gone down, you can come and store it and do market the next day.
Great.
So yes, now to sanitation.
So sanitation remains one of the serious challenge for us as authority. In West Point, do we have the capacity? Yes. But again, we do not have the capacity at a bigger scale to do actual waste collection. So in most instances, we, the City Alliance, we have been partnering with the Monrovia City Corporation that have the bigger capacity. And of recent, we came up with a strategy of ensuring that we vet community CVEs. We ensure that we have selected some number of them. They are going through the training process. After that, they will have the opportunity of coming to the community, collecting waste for proper disposal. Because in West Point, we do have the capacity to pay for waste. If we make a gate, Zogo, $100 to go through a day away, and that Zogo pop behind the window and drop it to another man's house. He able to pay a CBE, $300 a week or even $100 a week to properly dispose of his waste, that which we show we can do. So we are partnering with the city government. At least we have come to one point to ensure that the adequate disposal of waste is taken into consideration. And then another challenge has always been the issue of our beaches and waterway. We have members in the former administration, even when the government took over, we continue the number of people working on the various beaches, and West Point was no exception. So at that stage, we had a very clean beach, but again, because of the slow pay of that project, that ended about last year. So we have people off the beach. But now our people again as a community have seen the need to come back to volunteer. As I speak to you, we have numbers of volunteers on the beach, freely cleaning the West Point beach and other beaches within Monserrado. I'm told that the government have made some allotment through the Ministry of Youth and Sport on a project called Tessie Project. It is our hope and expectation that the project provide the basic services for our people in terms of job opportunity.
Great. We want to go to the phone lines and take some calls.
So,
Before
we
going
go to the
phone
phone
lines,
lines here, Theo,
go ahead.
I want to know how involved are you as a commissioner? You have tons of your people being involved with the Beaches and Waterway project. That project was shut down. May I find the right word to use if I don't have, let me say, arbitrarily. And the people took to the street to protest, alleged that government owed them some money. Government called them, they sat around the table, some of the money were paid. Now this project was changed to a different nomenclature, realized. Some of them started to complain that they were left out of the project. How involved are you, or were you, in ensuring that they return to the beaches? Because I'm told, I've listened to some of them say, we ourselves, we live around the beaches. So because we're seeing the beaches going bad, we have to get back to see whether government can also come in to amend our efforts by compensating us. How involved were you?
And so after the closure of the project, we, as local authority, again, started to do more engagement, even with the lawmaker, along with the Ministry of Youth and Sport.
Okay.
It is against that backdrop that we have some money allotted for in this budget for the same activity. And for me, I do not see West Point activity as a divided activity. I've always said to the parties involved, there's a need we come back to the beach. We have the numbers of present volunteering, and we hope and pray that upon the resuscitation of this project by the government, all of our people will go back to the beach and clean the beach. Because I take exception to the fact that if I live on the beach, I should be the one cleaning the beach. Then for you to bring somebody for people street to come clean my beach, it doesn't work in that form, man. And so this time around, we all have seen the need, and we have come back to that. West Point people are all on the beach now, volunteering, and we hope and pray upon the resumption of the project. Our people that are volunteering will be fully employed by government.
Great. 0777 105 100 0885 105 100
0555 105 100 0555 105 100 0777 105 100. If you're following us, you can call us on any of our numbers. You listen to the commissioner of the township of West Point, Honorable William Wee. He has been in conversation with Hartalk here on ABC Radio. We're talking West Point. We're talking the biggest slum community in the capital, Monrovia. And he's been drilling us through as to how they're working on the issue of security. Well, that one of the greatest challenge, or the greatest challenges in West Point security. Every now and then you hear about this, you hear about that, but to have a leadership in that place, ensuring that security issues are handled. Well, we want to hear from you in West Point. 0777 105 100 0555 105 100 are the numbers you can call and have the conversation with us here on this station. And so before, anyway, while we await your calls, let me politicize this conversation a little bit. We've talked out of the human interest community initiative. Let's go to politics. Well, though you work in the office of Representative Salomo George prior to your appointment as Commissioner of West Point, you is now the president of the township of West Point by virtue. You've looked over the community, you look over the township, you see all of the political happenings, you see all of those who move into communities, campaign to your people, who have put in their flyers out, who are showing interest in
contesting. We have a caller here, Anthony. Let me interrupt you.
Okay. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, hello.
What's your name? Where are you joining us from?
John and Coffee, the resident of West Point, the one I'm calling from.
Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much for the view of our commissioner guest in your studio.
Okay.
Yeah, some of the things he stated is true, and some of the difficulties, problems that we're facing in the township is that our people themselves are the ones that are not keeping the community clean. We try our possible best, but still, and they complain. So really, what the commissioner is saying is right. He does a lot of things, even down to water supply. Most of the areas, the debts are there. The people use the debt to buy it from the Zogos and drive their places. So really, that's some of the things we like the commissioner to explain as well. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. 0777 105 100 0555 105 100 are the numbers you can call and let's have the conversation. Well, I'm asking the commissioner, what do you think about politicians in your district? Who do you see as a top or forerunner of politics, regardless of Representative Josh being the representative? You can be representative sometime, and the people lost your taste and they don't want to see you again. Somebody can take the lead and start to run the show.
Yeah, sure. And so, what is your reading as we head towards the elections?
So basically, the numbers are there, and like it's something said, the numbers speaks for itself. Numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
In this way, almost every I can say to you, no matter how we turn this place around, it is a CDC struggle. When the day break, when the period of campaign begins, Monkey children will fire Monkey, Babu children will be
When the ball bounce, that story will change.
a different thing you're talking about.
And so you think whoever the CDC carries, that person becomes a representative of District 7?
Automatically.
So that means you have.
And with the readings on the wall, and also, I'm not just only a commissioner, I'm also a member of our party.
Okay.
At the level of most of other countries, you believe,
Okay.
vice chairman. And so with the ratings on the wall, we are also waiting to see or to hear what the process will look like in terms of primary.
Okay.
But the judge with me, they won't figure.
Do you think he's been performing over the years? He's been doing very well, and there's a need to have him re-elected for the third time?
So basically, performance is very.
Okay.
Now, we have over time had Honorable George as he is, our lawmaker. And one thing we are proud to say about this lawmaker, he is very homo accessible. He relates to us as a people, and he responds to our need as a community when it arises.
Somebody could say because you worked with him before, so I mean, you wouldn't see anything
So
different
despite the fact
or
that
anything on the contrary.
he's my former boss, and once a boss is always a boss. We work together for the betterment of our people. I know how Honorable George respond when there are issues of community interest. Just today, I was supposed to submit an error for the scene for a real life project we're running. That project benefits about 510 persons within the town through job creation, also through giving micro loan. The letter has been submitted, but then it didn't reach the executive director proper. It was before a secretary, and the director told the commissioner, the man called me, why are you delaying my people letter? I said, no, she has submitted it. In less than 2 minutes, they could trace the letter. So I know how a regional job respond to community issues.
There are reports that, I mean, he's some Tommy. I mean, he
him
has that kind of attitude problem.
Him on my nature, I have their own behavior. George is who he is, but as a leader and as a community member, and also as a male following closely, we respect him for a level of honesty, the ability to be accessible to us as a people to the time of our need.
There are other top political individuals in your district. They are doing well. They've been walking around. The likes of Emmanuel Dam, Sabah Joma, Wede Poe, Dara Scotty, also a sedition.
Let's take this caller, Antonin. Sorry to hold you there.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, what's your name? Where you joining us from?
Yeah, I joined you from District 14 to I'm one of family.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I saw that going very late because of the issue that we facing. But as an issue that before spoke to the president that two that I want to know that have to do with our safety. The people will be coming out to change the rural area that is like where people know to vote, and then they are taking to different places.
No, we're talking with the Commissioner of West Point. Since you are not following the conversation, I think you have to just hold them a little bit and probably you can call back. I mean, he's saying something different, Anthony.
Yes, so they're leaving out. So as I was saying, there are lots of people in that district. I know you are the president of that place. You should be working with all of them. Some of them, like Sabah Juma, came very close to representing the judge in the last election. Now, Emmanuel Dan is to some extent moving strongly. Don't you think
I see the laughing.
the days of representing the judge could be numbered as a result of all of them coming in?
Yeah, so honestly, as a commissioner, I'll try to do the best I can to be more like OP. And I've said repeatedly that the president have committed himself to a very free, fair, and transparent electoral process. And so West Point is also on such. West Point, again, is a community that remains a very peaceful community in engaging all of those actors who will come to compete for this election process. We see them, they come in the community, we work with them for the very protection of their own activities within the township. And so all of the characters you name there are very good people. They have their level of work and impact within the district. But again, as we go through the process now, we're encouraging our people to register, to vote, and as we go to the election, the mortgage will join me and mortgage, but which will follow.
As you sit here today, if you were to encourage all of those taking part in the election in District 7, if you had to talk to them to make a decision for someone, who do you support in that entire District 7 politics?
I'm a citizen. I support my party, Kennedy. And for the records, what we have is Honorable George. Against this backdrop, my support is for Honorable George.
Honorable Commissioner, thank you very kindly. It was a pleasure having you here today. How would you like to close up?
Maybe you want to say something.
Thank you very much. Let me close by saying a big thank you to the management staff of the ABC Radio. You know, it is our hope and prayer that moving forward, we avail ourselves of more of these engagements. Sometimes as political people, we sit back and want to do most of the job. But again, it is good that you come forward and let people listen to some of the